Welcome to the studios of WCMU Public Media. This time, a first-round game between Mackinaw City and St. Michael. That's coming up next.
Support for Quiz Central is provided by the CMU Bookstore. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, maroon and gold memories, and an official outfitter of Adidas apparel at the Central Michigan University owned and operated CMU Bookstore. Online shopping 7 days a week at cmubookstore.com, on campus at the University Center, and game day locations at Kelly Short Stadium and the John G. Kulhalvy Event Center.
Hello, everyone. I'm David Nicholas, and welcome to Quiz Central. This time, students from Mackinaw City taking on a team from St. Michael. It is a 16-team single elimination tournament. At the end of the season, 4 lucky Quiz Central seniors will receive a book scholarship provided by the CMU Bookstore. Plus, top teams from Quiz Central will qualify for the NAQT High School National Championship Tournament. So let's get to our game for today. The first round is the Maroon and Gold Rush. Teams will have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as they can. If a team answers incorrectly, the opposing school has the opportunity to answer that question. Teams may not consult during this round. Throughout our game, correct answers are worth 10 points apiece, and there is no deduction for incorrect answers. If all of our players are ready, here comes your first question. What monarch depicted in the Rainbow Portrait employed Frances Walsingham and never married, leading to her being known as the Virgin Queen?
Elizabeth I.
That is correct. What modern-day country, home to expressionist movements called the Blue Rider and Die Brücke, was where Walter Gropius founded the Bauhaus Weimar?
Germany.
That is also correct. Under leaders like Osceola, and what indigenous people fought 3 wars against the U.S. to defend their homes in Florida?
Seminole.
That is also correct. What law holds up to the elastic limit is named for an English scientist and is expressed as F equals minus kx, where k is the spring constant? And we'll go to the next question. What chemical element's atomic symbol is derived from the same Latin word as in plumbing?
Lead.
That is correct. What Greek stole ambrosia from the gods, tried to feed his son Pelops to them, and
Tantalus.
that is also correct. Next toss-up for both teams. The name of what type of flower appears 4 times in a line from Gertrude Stein's poem, Sacred Emily? Time. We'll go to the next toss-up for both. What TV show, which spawned 2 spin-offs featuring Isabel May as the narrator Elsa, titled 1883 and 1923, is a neo-Western starring Kevin Costner? And the bell signals the end of that round. But Ben, we can take your answer?
Yellowstone?
That is correct. The law that holds up to the elastic limit is called Hooke's Law. And the name of the flower that appears 4 times in the Stein poem Sacred Emily is the rose. And at the end of our Maroon and Gold Rush, Mackinaw City is out to an early lead, 60-0 over St. Michael. And before we start our next round, let's learn a little bit more about our students competing today. First of all, we welcome in the students from Mackinaw City.
My name is Eden. I'm a junior, and I play percussion.
My name is Ben. I'm a junior at Mack City, and I play basketball.
My name is Tyler. I'm a sophomore at Mackinaw City, and I'm in Boy Scouts.
Hello, I am Nathaniel, and I like martial arts.
Thank you, Mackinaw City. Great to have you here. Let's take a moment to meet the team from St. Michael.
I'm Russell. I'm a senior at St. Michael High School, and I run cross country and track and field.
I'm Charlotte. I'm a junior at St. Michael's, and I captain the volleyball team and sing classical voice.
I'm Charlie. I'm a sophomore at St. Michael's, and I'm in drama.
My name is Grace. I'm a senior at St. Michael's, and I am a musician.
And thank you, St. Michael students. Great to have you here. Thanks to both teams. The next round on Quiz Central is the kickoff round. The kickoff round includes a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up will get the opportunity to answer a single bonus question. Missed toss-ups can be stolen, but there is no consulting on these questions. A correct answer on the toss-up allows for a single follow-up bonus question. There's no stealing on the bonuses. However, teams can confer, and we'll take those answers from the captain. After a bonus question, we go back to a toss-up for both teams. If your buzzers are ready, players, here comes your first question. What queen succeeded her half-brother Edward VI after wresting control of England from the supporters of Lady Jane Grey?
Is it Mary the First?
It was Mary I. And your bonus question, what city which Francis I of France retook in the Battle of Monregneo in 1515 was long ruled by Visconti and Sforza families in northern Italy?
What do you say? Vienna.
Answer?
Vienna?
Incorrect. It was Milan. In June 2024, New York Governor Kathy Hochul postponed what policy that would levy a $15 fee on cars entering Lower Manhattan during the day?
Is it a toll?
A little bit more specific, please.
Entry toll?
We were looking for congestion pricing or congestion tolls. Sure, that went over well. What British playwright depicted a man who uses his own hot blood to sign a contract with Mephistopheles, a servant of Lucifer, in Dr. Faustus? Christopher Marlowe was who we were looking for. Next for both teams, the Senedd is a parliament based in what city, the capital of Wales? That city is Cardiff. What disease, commonly monitored using a hemoglobin A1C test, can cause ketones in the urine, and if
Diabetes?
That is correct. Diabetes is the correct answer. And now, Mackinaw City for the bonus question. In the name of what type of location appears in the title of all 5 books in a Sarah J. Maas series of fantasy novels set in a world of fairies? Answer?
Neverland?
We're looking for A Court of Thorns and Roses. Toss up for both teams. What Bohemian-born composer of the Dumke Trio in E minor used themes inspired by spirituals he heard while visiting Iowa in his New World Symphony? Composer's name was Antonin Dvorak. Next question for both teams. What Alabama governor who was shot by Arthur Bremer while running for president made the stand in the schoolhouse door to oppose integration?
George Wallace?
That is correct, George Corley Wallace. Your bonus question, what man to whom Charles II granted land in America in exchange for debt relief led Quakers in founding a namesake colony led from Philadelphia?
William Penn?
That is correct for Pennsylvania. Toss up for both teams. The Sundarbans are a mangrove forest that lies on what bay, the world's largest? That is the Bay of Bengal. Toss up for both teams. What number is sometimes called Archimedes' constant is the number of radians equal to 180 degrees and is an irrational number equal.
Is it pi?
It is pi. And to Mackinaw City for your bonus question. In July 2024, Italian police seized 42 tons of a product falsely labeled as what good, whose common varieties include one called EVOO. Answer?
Cooking?
Close. Cooking oil, we could have gone with olive oil or extra virgin olive oil was the correct answer there. Toss up for both teams. What school of psychology, a focus of the book Beyond Freedom and Dignity, included John Watson and operant conditioning researcher B.F. Skinner? Skinner and was looking at behaviorism. And the bell signals the end of the round there. Mackinaw City has the lead, 110-0. Let's see how our teams can navigate today's perfect 10. Teams, you'll have 60 seconds to answer questions from a choice of clues to 3 categories. The opposing team will have 30 seconds to answer any unasked, incorrect, or skipped questions. You can consult throughout the entire round. We take the answers from the captain. The team that's trailing gets the first choice to pick a clue to a category, and here are those perfect 10 clues for today. Nervous Nellie, name and number, and seeing red. St. Michael, you're trailing in the game right now. You get your first pick of those clues to a category.
One of the other two, last two.
I like name and number.
Name and number is okay with you guys? Name and number.
Name and number is your choice. That clue leads to this category, numerical novels. Name these novels with numbers in their titles. Again, the clue, name and number, in the category numerical novels. Name these novels with numbers in their titles. And St. Michael, your 60 seconds in your perfect 10 begins with this. George Orwell book about Big Brother's dystopia.
1984.
Correct. Ray Bradbury novel about book burning.
Fahrenheit 451.
Fahrenheit 451.
Correct. Charles Dickens novel set in Paris and London.
Tale of Two Cities.
Correct. Second book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Two Towers. Two Towers.
Correct. Arthur C. Clarke novel that introduced the computer HAL.
Skip.
A J. Asher novel about Hannah Baker's suicide.
Anything. Skip.
Adventure novel featuring Phileas Fogg.
Skip.
YA mystery by Karen McManus about Simon's death.
Skip.
Second Sherlock Holmes novel, which introduced Mary Morstan. All right, the bell signals the end of that. We are going to shift over to you, Mackinaw City, with the 30 seconds on the clock to pick up any missed answers there and perhaps finish out our category. And that category, again, is numerical novels. Name these novels with numbers in their titles. 30 seconds on the clock. The Arthur C. Clarke novel that introduced the computer HAL.
2001 Space Odyssey.
That is correct. The J. Asher novel about Hannah Baker's suicide.
13 Reasons Why.
That is correct. The adventure novel featuring Phileas Fogg.
Pass.
The YA mystery about Karen McManus's death, by Karen McManus about Simon's death. The bell signals the end of that round. That was One of Us is Lying. Phileas Fogg was featured in Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. The second Sherlock Holmes novel, which introduced Mary Morstan, was The Sign of the Four. And Taylor Jenkins Reid novel about a 1970s rock band, Daisy Jones and the Six. All right, Mackinaw City, you get your choice now of the remaining two. And Those clues again: Nervous Nelly and Seeing Red.
Seeing red.
Fictional redheads. Name these fictional characters with red hair. The 60 seconds on the clock for your perfect 10 round, and it starts with this. Harry Potter's best friend.
Ron Weasley.
Correct. Singer of Part of Your World in The Little Mermaid.
Ariel.
Correct. A member of the Mystery Gang with Fred, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby-Doo.
Daphne.
That is correct. Teenage spy who fought Shigo and Dr. Drakon in a Disney Channel show.
Kim Possible.
Correct. Adopted by Daddy Warbucks in a namesake Broadway musical.
Annie.
Also correct. The heroine of the 2012 Pixar film Brave.
Merida.
That is correct. The oldest of the Rugrats babies.
Jackie.
No, Chucky.
Jackie.
Oh, sorry. We're going to take that. Supervises elementary school field trips aboard the Magic School Bus.
Miss Frizzle.
That is correct. American Greetings character. And we did not get to that. All right, we are going to shift it over to you, St. Michael, for one that was missed there and perhaps to pick up the last two in the category. So you get 30 seconds on the clock as we head back to the oldest of the Rugrats babies.
Chucky.
Chucky is correct. American Greetings character who shares her name with a fruit-based dessert.
Strawberry shortcake. Strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry shortcake.
That is correct. And Rose Leslie's character on Game of Thrones.
Skip.
And that was Egret, was that character we were looking for. Brings us to the close of the Perfect 10. Mackinaw City, you have the lead in our game as we head to the home stretch round. Here in the home stretch, we'll have a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up will get the opportunity to answer a single bonus question. Missed toss-ups can be stolen, but there is no consulting on these questions. A correct answer on a toss-up allows for a single follow-up bonus question. There's no stealing on the bonuses. However, teams can confer, and we'll take those answers from the captain. After a bonus question, we'll go back to the toss-up for both teams. Buzzers ready? Good luck. Here comes your first question. What director of the film adaptations of the BFG and Ready Player One fictionalized his
Steven Spielberg?
That is correct. Your bonus question, what 105-day war in which Simo Hauha had over 500 sniper kills ended with Finland ceding land to the USSR in 1940 and was named for a season?
The Winter War.
That is also correct on the bonus there. Toss up for both teams. What term describes types of stored energy that can be 100% converted to kinetic energy?
Potential energy?
That is correct. And your bonus, before proclaiming himself emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte held what title inspired by Republican Rome in the French government of 1799 to 1804?
Proconsul.
Consul, first consul is correct. We take that for the bonus. And toss up for both teams. In July 2024, what junior senator from Ohio and author of the book Hillbilly Elegy was selected by Donald?
J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance is correct. And the bonus question for St. Michael is, what city at the mouth of the Swan River is the capital of Western Australia?
Anything.
New South
Just
Wales.
guess Sydney. I don't know.
Like Sydney?
Answer?
I don't know.
New South Wales or something
Do
like
it.
that.
New South Wales.
Incorrect. We were looking for the city of Perth. Toss up for both teams. What leader who came to power after ending China's Warring States period sponsored the creation of the Terracotta Army and was China's first emperor? And the leader we were looking for was Qin Shi Huang. Next question, the toss-up for both teams. What class of low-mass particles, which are pheromones and do not experience the strong force, include electrons and neutrons?
Protons?
Oh, we were looking St. Michael for the guess. And those are called leptons. Toss up for both teams. The furthest planet visited by Voyager 2 is what body that sometimes displays a green dark spot and is orbited?
Neptune?
That is Neptune, and that is correct. Bonus question. What character agonizes about a bloodstain on his sock after he murders a pawnbroker and a witness in Fyodor Dostoevsky's novel Crime and Punishment?
What is it?
It's Raskolnikov.
Raskolnikov. Raskolnikov.
That is correct.
Nice. I was going to say.
What novel in which nuns at the Petit Picpus convent educate Cosette centers on a former prisoner, Jean Valjean, and was written by Victor Hugo?
Les Miserables.
Les Miserables is correct. And your bonus question, what architectural style that uses lavish ornamentation with a modern industrial influence exemplified by the Chrysler Building?
I'd say either Art Deco or Art Nouveau.
I don't know either.
Just go for Art Deco. I don't know.
Art Deco
Art
is
Deco.
correct. What city whose oldest building is the Alfati Fort has a Tom Wright designed hotel called the Bir Al Arzab and on a man-made island, which is in the UAE?
Is it Dubai?
It is Dubai. And your bonus question, what 19th century philosopher who collaborated with his wife Harriet Taylor to write the subjection of women was a utilitarian? Yes? John Stuart Mill was the philosopher we were looking for. Toss up for both teams. What riots, whose participants included Marsha P. Johnson, occurred at a Greenwich Village bar in 1969 and helped launch the gay liberation movement?
Stonewall.
The Stonewall riots is correct. And your bonus question, Edward Bulwer Lytton's book, Paul Clifford, begins by describing the weather with what 7-word phrase, which is now emblematic of cliched first, cliched first lines?
A dark and stormy night. It was a dark and stormy night.
A dark and stormy night.
A little more specific?
It was a dark.
It was a dark and stormy night. That is correct. Toss up for both teams. What cabinet member who was, and the bell signals the end there of the home stretch. Mackinaw City, you have the lead 270 to 110. And up next, it's our final round of the game, and that's the final countdown. Teams, you'll have 2 minutes to answer as many toss-up questions as you can. If a team misses a question, the opposing team has the opportunity to answer. Teams may not consult during this round. All players ready? Here comes your first question. What cabinet member who was criticized for not visiting East Palestine after a 2023 disaster is the first gay man to be Secretary of Transportation? Excuse me?
Pete Buttigieg.
That is correct. Interactions between groups without a common language spur the creation of what simple shared languages which may evolve into more...
Sign language?
That is incorrect. Of what simple shared languages, ending that question, which may evolve into more complete creoles?
Arabic?
That is incorrect. What poet claimed that God is served by those who only stand and wait in the sonnet On His Blindness and described Eve's temptation in Paradise Lost?
John Henry Milton.
That is correct. In what form of asexual reproduction does a new organism form when a small portion of the original organism pinches off from the parent?
Osmosis.
That is incorrect. St. Michael?
Mitosis.
That is incorrect. What quantity, which is 0 by definition for inertial frames, is the second time derivative of displacement and is the rate of change of velocity?
Acceleration.
That is correct. What singer followed up her 2023 poem, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, with a hit single, Good Luck, Babe?
Chappell Roan.
That is correct. What city was the capital of the Ptolemaic Kingdom, was once home to pharaohs or large lighthouse, and is the second most populous city?
Alexandria.
We'll take that, and Alexandria is correct. Come to the end of that round, and Mackinaw City is our winner today. Let's have a round of applause for both teams. Now let's go back and check on a couple of those that stumped both teams. The interactions between groups, we were looking for the pidgin languages. 19th century philosopher we were looking for was John Stuart Mill. St. Michael, thank you very much for participating with us here on Quiz Central. Good job by you. Congratulations to Mackinaw City for winning this game. We will be welcoming you back at an upcoming date. And that means we will have an upcoming date with all of you as well here on another game of Quiz Central on WCMU. For all of us here, I'm David Nicholas. Have a good night. We'll see you next time.